Cheers. I need to open mine first.
Oh man, we're definitely behind. It is a chaos day. These things happen. Yeah. Fortunately, it's happy hour, which means happy and booze. So yeah. Carlin's struggling with microphones, and she's just gonna mime the whole thing. Oh, there she is. Okay. We'll get there. Hey.
Hey.
Hello.
Uh-oh. Carlin's got all the
Welcome
boozes.
to Chaos. Yes, welcome to Deep Fried Chaos Happy Hour, where we are chaotic neutral. And we drink and we talk about things that we made, maybe. I'm like still making it.
What?
Carlin's still making her drinks. So
Yeah.
It's Friday. Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
What you drinking, Todd?
Same as last week. I totally bailed on it being new this week, and it's the local brew pub that just opened called Cerveceria del Pueblo in Pasadena.
That's worth a repeat.
Yeah, I got 3 more. I mean,
supporting local business, local breweries is totally worth.
I mean,
repeat.
What I really wanted was the cheap red wine with a screw top on its bottle, but we didn't have any of those.
Yeah, you only had the cheap white wine with the screw top bottle.
Yeah, that one was quickly finished.
Now here's my question.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gluing a thing. So I'm drinking today. I'm cider.
Booze things. Ooh, what are you drinking?
Booze things. I'm drinking Angry Orchard.
Oh yeah.
It's the crisp apple one, but I got like the variety pack box. So it also had, there was pear, which there was unfiltered, which was pretty good, a little less sweet than the usual ones, which is fine because it's a little oversweet. And then also like a rosé one.
Ooh.
Oh, that looks very fancy.
This is my drink number 2. I'm starting standard, and we'll see if I get to. To this one,
and now do a little intermission here in the Todd Lab, so I can go get me a second one of these because I'm feeling like I might finish this quickly.
Yeah,
go get it.
So
do you want
Levi?
Oh,
Carlin, that was 1/16 of an ounce of that white rum. What gives? Says John.
Oh, it's
She's a lightweight. That's what it is.
No. I put an ounce of rum, an ounce of vodka, and now half an ounce, 75% of an ounce in the Contro, which is triple sec.
Why don't you do it by weight?
I should do it by weight. I would love to do it by weight. It
says no.
What is it?
European mixologists mix by the milligauss, or no?
I think it's like a gram per milliliter or something like that. Maybe with water.
Who was it? One of our friends was asking for a scale that had 0.1 gram resolution, and John Edgar Park pointed us. No, somebody else other than you, Carlin. And John Edgar Park pointed us to this website that all they do is sell scales, and they have one called the Deuce that is this little sort of pocket scale that measures to 0.1 gram, and it totally looks like something that a drug dealer would have in his shirt pocket when he's like, divvying up the goods. So I bought 2.
Did you?
Well, I mean, it's in a shopping cart, so
really?
I virtually bought 2, or I almost bought 2. Oh, John, you've got one of those. That's right. John is he feels like he's on Miami Vice when he uses that scale. As you're divvying up the sugar that goes into the drink. Yes, actually, it probably has. It's probably the scale. Yeah, can the scale weigh itself? Like, what is the range of the scale on the upper end?
Oh, interesting.
Let me see if I can find the the deuce.
Yes, cast it.
Scale. Oh, there it is.
Show us
Old
the
will
deuce.
not scales. Here, I'll paste this into the chat.
Okay, you want me to? Here, I can
Yeah,
pull it up.
could you post that to the live comments?
I can put it in the comments, and I can also put it on the screen if we want.
What? But it's amazing.
I know. I know. What is this technology? What is this? What is this? What is this sorcery? Okay. Let's see. We want a Chrome tab. That guy. All right.
There we go.
It is here. Let me lose the chaos. There we go.
I mean, sure they call it, the Pro Scale 222, but if you look in both the URL and in the like sort of silk screen on the product, it says the deuce.
Oh, like why? What?
And it's
like,
only
okay.
and it's only $7.
How big is this thing? This is not that big.
Yeah, it's like
it's definitely not that
fits in
big.
your hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carlin, I'll give us
In
one of these.
a nutshell. I like how they put "in a nutshell" in quotes,
Nice.
as
like
though
it.
we would think that they were actually putting it in a walnut shell or something.
No, but it's. I mean, the whole website is this weird sort of old timey. Look, I'm wearing suspenders and an apron and a bow tie.
Oh, okay.
This is
So what are you drinking, Carlin?
Yeah. What are you? What did you just make? And tell us all about it.
okay. So before I do,
Oh.
this is the type of scale we need.
Poor John.
I guess I can put it in the private chat. Someone else has to put it in the public chat. Okay, so I am orange zest,
Ooh.
an ounce of rum, an ounce of vodka, about some amount of Cointreau. I'll have to watch the video. And sparkling water and some of the orange juice.
Yes.
Wow.
Pretty strong.
Too shabby, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, make it strong. That's what we need right now. For
Uh-oh.
encouraging.
No.
No, I guess if it's gonna have a name, I guess I have to have I have to go to that.
I was gonna say go to
The
Cocktail
Crazy
Builder.
Carlin.
The Crazy Carlin.
Every drink is a crazy Carlin.
No. I think you should call this one the oven cleaner.
Oh yes. So the reason we call it the oven cleaner is because I decided to clean our kitchen today, like thoroughly, and it involved cleaning the oven. Which doesn't happen all that often.
So much so the oven was like outside on the street almost.
Yeah.
You know what?
So wait, because we've got John Egger, should I put bitters in this? Do you think? Our resident better mixologist.
Oh yeah, John, what do you
How
think?
bitter are you feeling? See, here's what I'm thinking. If you like, it should be delicious. Here's what I'm thinking we should do someday. This is some week when we don't have a lot of time to actually build things.
Mm-hmm.
Or we feel like doing this. What we'll have to do is we'll have to just all of us gather all of our liquors
Yes.
with us on the table and then just mix something and figure out what it is.
Yes.
And if it doesn't exist yet, we give it a name.
I like it.
We already have a theme for next week. I kind of wish we didn't. We'll do that. We'll do that for an upcoming one.
But it's sort of adjacent to the theme. Anyway, we'll get there. Speaking of which,
special episode where we do that. Yeah.
What did we make? This was your theme this week, Todd. What did we make?
Yeah,
what did we make? I don't know.
Yeah, what was our theme?
What was our theme, Todd?
Should we queue up the end of last week's video?
I can open the blog post.
I haven't even uploaded it yet.
What? Who am I? Who are you? No, so let me drink here
I'm
first.
gonna have to start doing that. I'm gonna have to start because I think you can do that actually. Like
All
you
right,
can
so
put up
our
some
theme
videos.
this week was networks or connections. It was sort of a direct response to the Pocket Universe of the previous week. How we're all kind of in our own little bubbles. But we're all still like now this week, let's explore how we're all still very connected in various ways, even though we're not connected in some of the ways we used to be. There's all these other ways that networks are connected. Sorry, there are all these other networks that we are embedded within, and maybe we can make something that sort of demonstrates that, or invokes that, or strengthens that. If we're in a network that we feel is kind of brittle, we can do something. And so that was the general gist. I had really no idea what I was going to do about this until a day or so after the topic came up. And then I realized, oh crap, the thing I want to do is actually pretty huge.
That's
And
better
so
than
I
me.
actually finally finished the main soldering of it at around 5:10. So today, like 20 minutes ago or whatever. So
See this?
uh-oh.
Oh, excellent.
And this is
You
Barb
still
still
you
working
still
on it.
beat me.
Yeah.
This is Barb still like I finished the other part of it, but yeah, no, I don't go first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah,
fun.
no, this is a cool theme.
Oh, thanks.
It is a
I mean,
cool
all of
theme.
them have been. Yeah.
We had a good selection. I can report back to the group that 5 milliliters of apple cider vinegar actually took this cocktail to a whole next level, and it's very good. Thank you for the mention of shrubs in the chat.
Shrubs.
Shrubs are
How do
drinking
you
vinegars.
how do you get apple
Shrubs.
cider vinegar from shrubs?
A shrub is a drinking vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is a fancy cooking vinegar.
Shrub is a drinking vinegar.
Yes.
Really?
It's not just a bush.
It's not
Non
just a bush. It's also a
Like I mean
vinegar that you
that was
put in
it.
your
I was thinking
mouth.
about, but yeah.
most vinegars, that's
A lot of vinegar.
anyway, you don't like vinegar.
Not usually on their own.
So I
I'm not
guess
a real vinegar aficionado.
should I go first?
Yeah, you've got
If
the
you want
actual
to,
most useful one, I think.
Well, it's also given
Yeah.
the strength of this drink, it's highly recommended that I go first.
Well, you still maintain the facility of language.
I don't know. That might be entertaining to have you go last in that case.
I'll still be here. Um,
That's true.
so I made an app. Should I share the Xcode screen or first? Can I share more than one screen? Can I share all of the screens?
You can show
I
your
don't know.
whole
Let's
desk.
find out.
Let's find out. I think I can.
Only one way to find out. I think you might only be able to do one unless you like signed in on another window.
Let me share the whole screen.
Maybe. That'll work too.
I think there's nothing.
You can also share other people's screens. Like you could share Matt Pinner's screen right now if you wanted.
I could.
Because you're a hacker. You're a founder of a hackerspace. You can do anything.
She's a lead hacksaw.
I would love to
You're
be.
a lead hacksaw.
I make no claims to leadness. I think.
Oh, that's right. You only use your powers for good now. I forgot.
That has nothing to do with leadness. You can use your
Chaotic neutral, folks.
file, open recent. All right.
Are you sharing something?
Not
Cast yourself.
Not yet.
See how organized we are, folks. We're
So organized.
incredibly on top. Oh, by the way, John, your talk at Maker Faire, liked it. The workshop, enjoyed it.
Yeah, he's got the whole setup for doing the live streaming and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I can show it here too.
Oh, there's that too.
Maybe it's kind of overexposed.
It is. Put it closer. Put it right in front so that here, and we'll go full screen on you. We'll go full screen on your screen. Go up.
Well, let's see. It might be instructive.
I'm just saying,
Let me
Just
share
saying,
the
like,
screen.
fill it.
Can you share the simulator? or
Yeah,
something?
share your screen.
I'll share the simulator. We'll share the simulator first, and then I'll show you the difference on the actual live device, and then I can show the code to anyone who is interested, if anyone. So
Everyone, we are all nerds here.
I know. Where's the window? StreamYard. There we go. Okay, well, I'll just share my whole
Do it.
whole entire screen. Yeah.
Do it. Rachel!
Woohoo!
Do it.
Vacation.
Is it sharing?
Hi,
No,
Mikeation.
not yet. There we
There
go.
we go. There we go. All right.
Oh man.
Whoa, to forever.
All right. So, in the
I have
simulator,
not had enough booze for that yet.
you hit call now, and it's selected one lucky person from your list of contacts, and then it's just going to call that person. What you'll see on the simulator is it actually works, and that you can actually call, except for my phone isn't, my iPad isn't set up to do that. Were you able to see any of that?
A little bit.
Here, wait, let me go here. Go for it.
Call now. It should be a different contact because it's a randomly picked one. You hit call. You have to hit call again, so this isn't that ideal. And then it boinks because I don't actually have my iPad linked to a phone or phone network. So
why are you war dialing your contacts, Carlin?
Because it's not all my contacts. It's only people who want to be war dialed by me, and it's maybe, I don't know. It's well, so I was thinking about last week. My theme was like, I feel like I'm in a jar, and this will, if I put a contact list in there of people who I think I'd like to actually talk to, then I might actually call them, because one of the things that blocks me on calling people is the idea that, like, oh, this person wouldn't really want to talk to me, or like, who should I call? Like, so just getting rid of that would be really helpful to me. And there's a reason why I put the like one lucky person, because I know when I'm feeling sad or anxious or depressed, I very much love the attitude like, oh, well, this person wouldn't want to hear from me, really. Like, I've got nothing interesting to say. There's sort of having the computer pick that person for me, and like referring to them as a lucky person is a bit of a mind hack to sort of like, no, like this will be a positive experience for both of you, hopefully. Yeah, that's the thing.
Can I opt in for this app?
Not yet. It's got a long way to go before it's got a long way to go before it gets app stored. So I actually am gonna stop sharing the screen for a minute.
You're not actually showing the screen right now. Now you are.
It is perfect.
But we can make it go away.
Because I can't actually see any questions that people have.
Matt, can you see the screen?
Now I can. Hold on one second. So I'm going to share screen again, and I'm going to pick an actual application window. In this case, it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Hold on one second. I have 2 projects open in Xcode, and I can't tell which one is the one I should show. Hold on. Sorry. Quit this one.
Wait, did I legitimately finish that while I wasn't paying attention? That's fine.
Oh, excellent. Good job, Barb. All right. You finished?
Well, almost. I dropped one thing, and I don't know where it is.
And it's the key to everything.
I have extras.
Okay, I shared it. I'm sharing the Xcode screen.
Ooh, let's see. There we go.
Ooh, make your fonts bigger.
Good question. Not entirely sure how to do that.
Command plus, maybe?
Yeah. That's how I generally do.
Yeah, there
Or
you go.
pinch.
So this is the basic
Yeah.
tag. It's a name, a first name, and a phone number. There is a fancier version in the works that I can talk about in a second. But in the view, so that's the data model. In the view, we've got quite a few things that maybe shouldn't be in a view. There's my dummy data and the telephone call functions and the visual styles and the different visualizations. I should be able to show you the canvas. You get to see the app.
Will it work?
There's that.
Yeah, it'll work. It's just
I mean, will Xcode not crash?
no, it won't crash. It hasn't crashed in a while. So yeah, so this is the alert window that comes up. This is the button.
So I noticed you're using Swift UI, which is like the much cooler, newer, easier way to write iPhone programs. Yeah.
Yes, I much prefer it to UIKit. Part of the reason why this version of the contact schema isn't implemented, though, is because if you want to actually access the contact book of the person itself, the image is a UIKit-based UI image, and I'm having trouble translating between the two at the moment.
Yeah.
So I punted on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
like
anyone has any questions, that would probably be easier than me just like walking through the line code by code, because I don't know how interested people would be. And like,
yeah, I don't think the happy hour is a code review.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this code needs some serious refactoring. Like, it's got.
All right. So overall question: How does this tie into the whole networks topic?
Well, you had mentioned. I think I said already, this is sort of I felt like your topic was a reaction to last week's topic, and sort of like how to punch through, how to make a connection. So all the people in this would call are different nodes in my connection network. And I, because as much as I do think this, I'm not the first person to say this, but the whole calling what we're doing social distancing is a real misnomer, because we have all these technologies that all of us are so conversant in. There's a real ability to actually stay connected in some ways more. I don't know the last time I saw Barb every week. Like, when was the last time I saw Barb every week?
Yeah.
Or
we used to
y'all every week. So it's sort of the way
we used to have our own happy hour.
Yeah, technology mediated
connectivity.
In a way that's sort of there's no service. I don't have to log in. I don't have to give anyone access to all my contacts. Blah blah blah. I can just sort of like, call this person. It's yeah. Levi mentions it'd be cool to get a network graph visualization of who we call next. Yes, that would be good. And it's actually something that would be fairly easy to do in Swift UI, actually. One of its strengths is the ability to draw things through the screen real fast. And so I was talking about that, and maybe like you've got the different nodes and their distance from the plane that has the button is the time that you've called them. It could be, you could do some fun things. Right now, I just loaded in the graph paper graphic that I actually made for the graph paper week 1. But it would be really easy to translate that Python code into Swift UI code, I feel. In fact, I want to try that. But apparently, cleaning our kitchen was more important to me today than doing that. And like, I had to do it. Had to be done. Yeah. Oh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, John got a slide projector. Oh, that's awesome.
And a gigantic Arduino Uno.
I
love that logo.
I missed your live stream yesterday, Mr. John Park, but this is one of the things you talked about.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So.
But yes, I totally agree that that like the background graphic you currently have sort of begs to be representational some way, like
Ooh.
the little triangles. I mean, like it's sort of a hex grid, the way that like cell towers are in a hex grid, and it sort of begs to be like animated, just even for trippy visuals. Ooh, look at the clean oven.
Nice. Clean oven. I am into that visuals thing.
Yes. And I overcleaned the knobs on our oven. They used to be completely black, and now they have a nice silver rim because they were really dirty, and the baked on oil took the paint with it.
Yeah, so you don't know where like high, medium, and low is, but
we never did anyway.
It never really matched what happened with the burners anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, if it has a hard stop on either end, you can kind of estimate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Temperature,
It's, that's what IR thermometer is for.
There you go. There you go.
Oh. Yeah, you just put your hand in, like, ow.
That's your thing, sweetheart, not mine.
Yeah, I've noticed
that of my two hands, this hand, my left hand, is definitely less susceptible to feeling burned, because when you're soldering, you often need to like hold something while you're soldering, and especially with this project, it was just like, okay, I've just got to sit here until it cools down. Ow.
Todd, that's what third hands are for.
No,
I've got third, fourth, and fifth hands, and sometimes
you've got a lot of clamps. No, so let's move on. Let's actually, let me answer the couple more questions. This did not take very long. In that, if I was a skilled Swift programmer already, it would have taken me like no time at all. It took me a long time because I, of course, wanted to watch too many tutorials before I even started. Some of the ones that I recommend are in the blog post. There's a one for this crowd. I would definitely recommend the one that the Stanford folks are putting on right now. It's live on YouTube. That link is in the blog post. SwiftUI makes
if you want to learn Swift UI programming, it's the best. Like, you get to basically take a Stanford class with other Stanford students right now. He's had the first 2 lectures, and the third one just happened or something.
Yeah, it's definitely not for beginning programmers. It assumes that you've had at least one bachelor's level CS class already. He assumes your variables are blah blah blah. But it's still, I mean, for a lot of these folks, says that that's fine. It's very good. So watching that, it'll take you a long time in order before you can build this app, because he's really like going through it. But there's other links in a way that I really enjoy. But it's there are some things like hacking Swift and stuff like that if you want to just get like dirty quickly, as opposed to like you just want to get it done, which is what this app is, as opposed to properly structure using model view modeler. Like, I mean, using the Polygrity class is very much like how to really correctly do it if you want to be a grown-up programmer, and the rest of it it's not grown-up programmer code that I wrote. In which case
I'm a real programmer.
Oops. Let's see. Yeah, that's all. This is a pretty intro level stuff, except for the contact actually integrating with the contact book might take a little longer, but just because of the Swift UI weirdness. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
Well, it seems like a great way to just get into like a great actual useful tool to get into Swift programming. So you've been wanting to get
Yeah.
back into iPhone programming for a while, and this
Yeah, I
sounds like a
have.
great way.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
Cool.
that's cool. I think I need a new one. I finished my first one.
Oh man.
We're going rosé.
Excellent.
Rosé, quote unquote.
All right.
All right. So am I going second? Is that what I'm hearing?
Sure. Go. You go next.
Wherever you want to go, you wanted to go last.
Huh? Do you want to go last? Todd?
You wanted to go last, correct?
Who? Me?
Yes. You made the request to go last?
Well, I did make the request to go last. That was before I had finished.
Okay.
Now I'm good to go whenever.
Should we roll a dice?
Sure.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
One,
Rock, paper,
1, 2, 3.
scissors, shoot.
Oh shoot.
I got okay. We again didn't figure out what that means.
Oh, winner chooses.
Yeah, winner chooses.
Oh, I didn't want to choose. Here, I'll go next. You can be last for your theme.
All right, thank you,
Todd. Okay. So all right. So I had a hard time coming up with an idea for this one. I mean, aside from my initial thought of like murder board.
Murder board's pretty good.
Murder board is fun. And I'm like, man, yeah, I mean, but that's like a little too, I don't know, I couldn't quite figure it out. So I started, yeah, I know. Networks and connections, murder board, strings, if you don't know what a murder board is, that's like where you have the pictures and stuff, and you're connecting things together with strings and push pins and yada yada.
So you can find out who you murder.
So you figure out, I don't know, like cops in murder mystery dealies have the, yeah, I don't know. That was the first place where my mind went, which says something about my mind. I don't know. But I had a hard time thinking about something. I'm like, something to do with maps, maybe, until I was talking to Theron on Tuesday night. And he brought up, he got me thinking about subway maps, which are interesting because of how, how they're not related to actual distance most of the time, very representative. And like at this moment, physical distance doesn't really matter. I've seen you two in the last couple months way more than I saw you in the couple months before that.
Absolutely.
And then the interesting thing about that is having different rail lines. I thought, okay, it's kind of interesting to like start exploring all of your contacts, all of the people you know, and how you know them. And in some ways it feels a little reductionist. Like, okay, I'm boiling down people I know, complex, unique, interesting people into one particular thing, or maybe two. But it is interesting to kind of like explore this a little bit. So let me show you the map that I whipped up. And I say whipped up, I mean it. It was
So cool.
It was a little tricky trying to decide who to include in this. It wound up being like there's 5 rail lines in this one, and I was like I had 2 more that I wanted to do in just like my first initial thoughts of it. But it's like let's kind of keep this a little bit more under control and manageable, because this already is a little bit complex and figuring out how to do this. And it is also kind of it is very reductionist in what people are, set to be.
I don't mind being reduced. I'm happy to be a dot on your subway.
Yeah. Well, so if you see this, there's like the blue lines are family. Orange is crash space people. And a lot of overlap between those two is in art. And admittedly, just about everybody with Crash Space does art stuff. I kind of was trying to narrow it down a bit to like people I've been in art shows with.
I think that's a fair criteria.
And then I'm probably forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except that I probably have forgotten something from some people. Like y'all have probably been in an art
but I
show.
think it's sort of a lot of people like, well, there's everyone can make art. But there's a line between people who make art, which is kind of everybody, and then professional artists who do the work. And I think being in the same show with someone or a memorable number of shows with someone is a fair demarcation.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, this is what I wound up boiling it down to. And then I also had to figure out exactly what to do with the D&D line or the TTRPG line, really, because that group, there have been a fair number of people who have, as with many campaigns, came and left. So what do I do? Or like there was a game that I was previously in with them and that game is over, So I wound up doing, having kind of like the dotted lines are like inactive portions of that rail line. Yeah, and it's interesting, like laying things out. So it's like, okay, I got to put the art people here, and then like the people that could be with D&D here, and like, yeah, no, it was fun. I was looking at because there are like generators that'll help you make maps online. They're all kind of crap that I found. At least not as useful or not as practical for my purposes. As just doing it by hand, like I did this in Illustrator, because I can move freaking points much easier than that. Yeah. So this is like the general kind of thing that I've mocked up, because like I wanted to have a line that was like for internet friends, but then that gets crazy because now everybody's an internet friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, people who are exclusively internet friends. And I'm like, but wait, there are people who I met online that I've met in person now. And I don't know. Yeah, whatever. So that's that. And I actually
it's just really, I find the trying to collapse down a set of people that you know in one sort of area to a linear segment is really interesting, because it's like, well, it's not clearly distance, because that doesn't make it that's not useful. Right. But is it like time that I've spent with them? Is it time that I've known them? Is it time since I last saw them? You could have I can see how you get a subway map versions of like all those different types of views. Yeah. And then over time, for any of those, over time, it's all going to change. So it'd be kind of fun to see an animation of how your personal sort of like topology, or what do you want to call it, is changing.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really interesting. Yeah, no, I was initially thinking about having, because it's super complex, having multiple layers. So you can have overlays of like, here's the internet lines, like light rail over subway.
Yeah, exactly. Subway, rail line, bus line.
Yeah, bus. Yeah, like because like how subway lines often don't have anything at all to do with the streets above them. Yeah, Boston's hilarious like that.
Probably so, with like actual transparencies.
Oh.
The other cool thing about doing it something like, I was thinking about doing it on laser cutting it onto acrylic and then just putting like a little glowy behind it, so I can move it around. So it's like I'm moving and talking to this person, and now I'm moving and talking to this person along the we're going along the blue line now. So I did want to make like an actual physical thing
on our chat thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow, now we're actually a thing.
No, I did not want to become famous. Why would I want to become famous? It's such a hassle.
What? You're internet famous?
No, I'm saying we're internet famous because
we've
made it because we have spam now. I would put this person up here just to record our first spammer, but
Ooh.
I don't want to give them publicity. Should we record it? No.
Yeah, our bot.
Later when we can blur it.
Yeah, just kick them off.
So in to honor the initial thought of Murder Board, I decided to go string art with it and make it physical. So
that's how you're supposed to do it, right?
Oh,
that looks awesome.
This is limited by the size of plywood that I actually had on hand. Here, let me go full.
Oh my god,
screen
that looks
here.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
So I've got my different lines, and let's see, how am I gonna? Here, wait. Ooh, if I do like this, then you get better lighting on it.
Oh, I love the breaking light. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, so good.
Nice.
So you can see
those are like
just
wood screws in plywood.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
so
awesome.
nice. So nice.
And then you can't really do dotted yarn, so I went gray for part of it. And
I like that.
If I had different color yellow, then I might have done that. But
totally.
No,
I guess you could twist two colors together to make like a
yellow.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That could be cool.
Ooh, too bright.
Oh, this is great, Barb.
Yeah, I gotta post
really cool.
pictures.
Yeah,
on.
give me a picture to update.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So that's my that's my physical make.
Love it. I love
string, not quite murder board because I don't want to murder any of you. I don't wish
you're on the list.
Murdered.
You're on the board.
No, I think it's
I'll get to you eventually.
Means that you wanted to kill me at least once.
Yeah, you know what? That's a
no,
fair.
she's thinking about me. Any attention is good attention.
Oh man. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my project for the week.
That's beautiful.
That's really cool.
Have fun. Thanks.
Nice. Speaking of beautiful projects.
Oh, so okay. So my thing is the idea that I had when this whole network thing came up was like, ooh, two things. One, I've always wanted to play with circuit sculpture, but I'm not really that detail oriented to make the beautiful, perfect angled joints that all the people like Mohit and stuff do for the circle sculptures. I knew that if I did it, it would look crazy and just crappy. I'm like, so I'll do something organic looking someday. And the other thing is, I used to do a lot of network admin. I strung a ton of telco and Cat5 cable, like miles of it, when I was in college.
Including at Crashbase.
Yeah, and at Crashbase. And actually, the cable I used was from a 1,000-foot spool I bought like 10 years ago. They still have some. And so to that, then, the thing that I made, see if I can actually get it over here, is this little tree thing.
Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. I need to see if I can get the light and the zoom.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry. So
pan down a little so you can see the base because the base is cool.
Unfortunately, I can't really pan. Right,
can you move the?
Hold on.
Can you prop the tree up on? No, it's already propped.
It's already propped up. Now, let's see. Unfortunately, my camera stand is not very mobile.
Right there. That's.
All right.
That's close enough. That'll do. There.
Yeah,
Stay there.
Right.
We're not. Okay. There. No. There.
So, is it in focus? I can't really tell.
It's fine. Yeah. No, it's good.
In focus. But anyway, so it's got neopixels. And it's made of telco cable, and a couple things that I really liked, and this is actually from you, Barb. You're asking me, oh, what do you like about wire? Because I was like, maybe I'll do it on wire, and I really like the fact that wire is ductile. You can bend it, but it also can hold a structure, and so this tree has no armature. It's purely held up by itself, and so it is, kind of compliant because it's just the 26 gauge wire that's inside of the PVC sheaths, and each leaf is a little neopixel that's been hand soldered, and I wanted it to be actually independently addressable LEDs. So, as you know, neopixels are in a string. Do I have? Here we go. They're in a string like this, and so 3 wires go to each neopixel, and then 1 wire comes out of it and goes back down the trunk and into the base, where it then hooks up to one of the others, and it's kind of a random other one. So there's no recognizable relationship between any of the pixels, and because kind of on purpose, I wanted it to be, it's just everybody's in the network, and sometimes they're next to each other, sometimes they're not, and yeah, that's it. And it's in a little laser wooden cut base that just fell over.
Question, Todd. Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Are the wires that are part of this? Are there any that are not actually part of the circuit, or is it all?
All wires are part of the circuit. Yeah.
That makes it so much cooler.
Yeah.
Oh my
everything.
God, it's so
Every single wire. Every single wire is part of it.
That is super gorgeous.
So yeah, it was a pain to solder.
And the
Let me see if I
too.
can underneath here. There is a proto board that's been split in 2 that then, I forget how many I had, how many pairs of wires I had, but it was way too many. And I don't know how to operate my camera. Here we go. But yeah, so I finished it about an hour ago.
Which is not the last person.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it in the dark too. Oh, yeah. Oh, show it like that for a minute. I'm so glad you went last. I'm so glad you went last. This is the showstopper.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I've never made a circuit sculpture, and so I'm pretty proud that it actually worked. I only had 1 wiring error out of all these stupid like 300 solder points I had to do, and that was I wired 1 neopixel in backwards, and it audibly popped the itsy bitsy that I was using, and it like the little, I think it was the Schottky diodes, whatever, leapt off the board. So I got this itsy bitsy with this little crater where there used to be diodes.
Now I want a full size of this. I just want a yard full of trees like this.
Yeah, so for scale, it's about,
about
as big as my hand. Here's what can I do for scale? Here we go.
Well, I mean,
a
it
large beer
focuses
can
on the
for
size
scale.
I think it's a banana. It's usually a banana for scale, is it not?
Mouse for scale.
Quarter for scale.
Yeah.
Neopixel for scale. Oh. No, seriously, I want a yard of those. I want to hang out in a yard of those.
Not very waterproof, though.
Okay, inside my bedroom then. So not outside. That's fine. That works too. The colors of that work so well with it too. For a tree.
I've just been delivered a banana for scale.
I was wondering where she took off to. You're gonna have to zoom yourself out though.
Yep. There we go. So it's,
there you go.
a banana and a half, maybe.
It's hilarious that people use bananas for scale, considering there's so many different sizes.
So
you can have many sizes of bananas.
That's the
so cool.
That's the business.
Todd for scale. Yeah.
Todd for scale.
So cool. All right. Let's get you at solo. That's so cool. How long did it take you all together to do that? We know when you finished, but
Oh, geez. Probably 4 4-hour soldering sessions, I think, was about what it was. And
Keep in mind that Todd is a very good solderer.
well, I haven't done much free space soldering where you have like just sort of two wires in the midst. Like one of the things that made this even tractable was using the little proto board with the through hole. The plated through holes, because then you can put wires in, solder one wire by itself, solder another wire by itself. And when I've built stuff like this before, like little freehand things, it's like two wires together and then you solder them, and like trying to make sure that like the two wires are in position, your solder are in position, your solder's in position, having all four of those at the same time meet at one point is like impossible.
have you ever tried doing that with sparkles? With the soldering unicorn? Because that is really good for that.
Yeah. But the problem with sparkles is that it sort of like defines the point in space where you need to be, and if where you need to be is not where sparkles wants to point, then
gotcha.
Because you can't. Her head is not articulated.
Oh, so we need an articulated sparkle.
Exactly. Yeah.
That sounds a little terrifying.
But I mean, like this is very handy.
This is
a freehand that I've modified to be like super extendy.
That would be really cool, having like a gooseneck sparkles.
Right? Like imagine if like this was basically the inside of the sparkles. Skeleton.
Oh my gosh! What if it's an octopus and some of the hands are third hands and one of them is a soldering iron?
It's a soldering iron octopus unicorn.
Is to mount sparkles on your own head like a fascinator.
Here we go. All right, John, you're brilliant. This is the thing right here. Yeah, this is pretty much. I gotcha. Here we can even like
Genius.
Yeah, there we go.
That's just all right.
They've been doing it for lights. All
right. Yeah, this is good. I'm thinking I'm gonna I'm gonna put some mount points here so I can just like snip this onto here.
You've been mount points on your head for a long time.
Yeah, no. Imagine if you had snaps on your head. You could just like put your phone here so you could read your phone.
Yeah.
Walking.
My mom has a snap on her head.
On her head?
Yes, on her skull. For a hearing aid.
Oh, that's badass. She's a cyborg.
It is so badass.
Your mom
she is the bionic woman.
She really is.
It's really kind of awesome.
That is really cool.
And she has a prosthetic leg now too. So like it's all just
We can rebuild her better than she was before.
It makes me almost want to blow out my hearing in order to get a snap of me.
You don't. Yeah. No, we all need. I want snaps in my head.
Yeah. Well, Adam, like there's a video of Adam Savage a year or two ago talking about the fact that he's got hearing aids because of a congenital thing, not because of all the explosions. You think, a MythBuster would have need hearing aids because of all the explosions, but no, he's got some sort of congenital thing, and he's had these like super high tech, where it's got like the little tiny string that comes down into your ear, and then like the actual like smarts hide behind your ear, and he's got one now that like talks to his phone, and it's be a phone headset thing, so he can like be talking to people on a phone, and no one can tell who he's talking to, but also the phone app now lets him basically the response for different environments and people, so that like if a certain person has a certain vocal range, he can like zone in on the vocal range and boost that.
Ooh, I need that.
No, exactly. I'm like, and he's like, and then I can like tune out everybody else basically, and it's like, all right, this is the cyborg hearing that I'm looking for.
Yeah,
I can't wait to get old of my hearing.
That makes a lot of sense because microphones, like studying like stream input and like discerning different audio streams is interesting, considering like all of the different factors that help you to discern like where they all come from, and you lose a lot of that with a microphone.
Yeah.
So that's cool that they're like implementing it again. because that's like
Totally.
some of the stuff is like, like echoes, and like location of things, and like stuff. Like if you have a single microphone, you lose all. Even
Yeah.
if you have two, like, yeah, it's like you're losing like the sound of the filtering sound of your ears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine does, Rob Faludi, did
Mhm.
developmental psych with babies, and I remember hearing from him. I think it was him. Um, One of the things that we have to learn how to do when we're babies is not hear all the echoes.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
fascinating.
yeah, and so when you're like little babies, like they're hearing too much. They hear everything, and then your brain starts learning how to selectively remove information. And I think that's why some of the blind people who whistle to echolocate, they can actually do that because sighted people have learned not to hear so many of the echoes because it's not information.
Yeah,
But once you lose your
totally.
sight, some of the things become information again. I think
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
I wonder if there's a connection, or like if there are more people who are able to do echolocation who've been doing that since they were young.
Yeah,
Considering
that's
like
interesting.
the
Yeah.
like that's part of the thing about being able of doing that when you're young is like your neural connections are still being formed.
Yeah,
That's like
you
part of what
studied
makes
plastic for a long
its
time.
brain so flexible.
I think, neuroplasticity is like a really interesting field, but yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yep.
Amazing.
I got it in front of me.
I love it. I love it. I have not actually really been able to study this for you in person yet, despite
Yeah,
despite
but I've been hiding in the workshop
Yeah, that's
making
you've been
this,
hiding it, and I'm
and you've been hiding writing software.
yeah, in the hospital.
you gotta yeah
Aw.
you gotta post some pictures, some video, do show lots more of better quality than we
Yeah,
can do on our live
now
stream
that
here.
it's finished, I'm gonna actually take some beauty shots of it or whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it.
that'd be awesome. We can put it on the blog post too,
Exactly.
and I'll put pictures some more. Yeah.
So,
But anyone else can make this. It's just Cat5
There you
cable that the shield's been stripped off and the underlying color coded cable bits have been twisted together and pixels soldered onto it.
anyone else can make this. Like anyone, that's like Vermeer saying anyone else can paint this. They just need
Oh,
3 months,
Yeah.
mascara and like years of
jeez.
experience.
No, it's just twisting cables. That's all it is.
Yeah. All right. Barb,
If you were newer, you would go a little bit probably. Okay, we're talking about next week.
yeah, want to tell us
Yeah.
what
Our
we're doing
next
next week?
I'm excited about this one. Because it seems really fun. So the plan for next week. Oh, I didn't make a banner for this. I should do that. Next theme is I'm gonna make remedy books. So remedy books are shoot, come on. I pulled up pages and then it decided not to load. Let me
Stupid
cast.
pages.
Let me screen share here.
Excellent.
Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. Go away. There we go.
Coronavirus.
Okay. My family's wacky old remedy book. So the idea of this is just kind of like a notebook that has, this is, kind of like old school, like folksy home remedies for various maladies or any kind of problems that you encounter in your life in regards to health, in regards to, home maintenance or, kind of whatever. Common bothers: back pain, chapped lips, chest colds, chilblains, dyspepsia, earaches, flatulence, freckles, mosquito bites, nosebleeds, poison. Yeah. Perfect. Sure and excellent.
It cures your
remedy.
flatulence, but it gives you freckles.
Yeah. For sore throat, you got salt pork or fat bacon sliced and simmered in hot vinegar, applied to the throat as hot as possible. Yeah.
Wow.
So the stuff, like some of this is kind of awesome and hilarious.
Oh man. So Matt Pinner says in the chat that the Museum of Jurassic Technology has an entire exhibit on remedy books. That's pretty cool. I wish we could go.
Oh man, I wish. Yeah, seriously.
Or I wish that they had more of their exhibits online.
This excellent tonic for the blood. You go to a blacksmith and get like a bunch of filings, like iron filings, and then you mix it and eat it. Seriously.
No. If you grind up, if you put total cereal in a blender, you can get the iron filings out of it. It's iron fortified, and you put the magnet.
Yeah, that's how.
I read that on the internet.
And if the internet says it, it must.
I know. This is gonna be fun.
We should try.
I just occurred to me. I just got in the mail. I'm trying to do more edible food in our yard for no reason. But what I also like California native plants a lot. So I just got this book, Too Much Ethnobotany. Too Much is one of the Southern California tribes. The Tongva or Gabrielino is another one. For some reason, it made me think of this, and I wanted to print this book. It's tricky. Don't get it on Amazon. They charge way too much money. They go like all these or Powell's or something. But yeah.
Now I'm thinking about like a tech remedy book.
Yeah.
Where it's like, make sure that it's plugged in. You know.
Again.
Yeah.
So like I think this could be a really interesting prompt because you could go tons of directions with it, including, kind of old school with ridiculous remedies for things or stuff that you actually, without perhaps data, think that is the case. Like I've got things that I do if I start getting a sore throat.
Yep.
I've got the things that I do to try to nip that shit in the bud. Like sleep with a scarf on.
Then take the cat's fur, make a tea out of it.
Wait, what?
If you start getting sick, you shave the cat, and then you make the tea out of the fur.
Sounds like page 1 of your book there, Todd.
You don't know about this, Carolyn? Everybody knows about this. This is how you keep from getting sick.
Yeah. Levi mentions the Voynich transcript or manuscript, which
we were talking about, actually.
We were talking about, and I have up.
So good.
Here, wait. Did it pop to it? No, it did not. Wait.
Where's
my thing? Stop screen. It was on the same thing. Okay. This is the other thing that just made it seem like a super awesome prompt to do. Because for those who don't know, we've got a big old list of brainstorm things. So this, some people think it's an illustrated codex handwritten in an unknown writing system. So we don't actually know what it is, but some of it kind of gives the impression that it might be, or at least parts of it might be a like some kind of remedy book, which is super interesting. And I really, really like the idea of a coded. How
did you know about this? Carlin, did you bring this up, or did Barb bring this up?
I brought it up.
How did you learn about this?
Well, thinking about this because it's one of the things that it comes up every once in a while in the InfoSec community because it's an interesting cryptographic problem, sort of like unhandled translation problems. Also, if you read the Wikipedia page, you'll see there was a scandal not recently where this one person this is what it is, and he got published. And anyway, there was discussion about it. But this is a manuscript that that goes around in any kind of community cares about ciphers, because it's interesting. It's one of those unsolved cipher puzzles. I mean, a lot of people are just like, well, the person was just crazy who wrote it.
They just wrote down gibberish.
They just wrote down gibberish, but like speaking in tongues kind of gibberish, and thinking about whether or not the letters match the letter frequency rates, like what do they match, like which languages do they match, and things like that. So I knew about it from the point of view of ciphers, but it's also just beautiful and interesting and evocative, sort of like, forbidden knowledge kind of thing, and that's part of actually why also I brought out that Chumash book, in terms of like, how do we know what we know? How does that information get passed on? What information is valued by our society? What information is not valued by our society? Because a lot of these remedy books were written by, women who were trying, like, these are the things that work. I am responsible for the health of my family. But they're generally ignored as resources a lot of times, although that has been changing. And so, outsider knowledge, personal outsider knowledge as a beautifully rendered, carefully rendered, valued, passed through your family. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. And like when we started talking about this idea, I had like half a dozen ideas pop into my head instantly, and I'm like, that means that this is a ripe topic, and I'm interested to see what directions, because that's one of the beautiful things about this Deep Fried Neurons thing, is that we always, all three of us, go in very, very different directions. We never do things that are like the same. There may be some kind of like connecting thread, aside from the theme, like light or something, but no, we go way, way different.
It's been fun.
It's exciting. Yeah. And John Park has posted something that
it's head-mounted.
Have you seen it?
Head-mounted soldering iron unicorn.
Did he Photoshop
the
a sparkle
standard
onto your
stuff
head?
that you see,
As you do.
As you do.
Yeah. So that's our theme for next week, is remedy book.
This is awesome.
So
if anybody else wants to do it.
Wait, hold on, Barb. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh dear.
We have to show this. Hold on.
All
Share
right,
a screen.
Okay. Share it.
This is genius. Thank you, GP.
No. That's not good at all. That's terrible.
I love it.
Love it. And it's not even sparkles. That's Rainbow Crash.
How do you tell the difference? I don't even know how to tell the difference.
I made them. That's how.
So Matt made the first one,
and I made the second. Matt and I made the second one, which was basically the same as the first one, from the second one that you bought. The third one was my mom's, because as with all of the things I make, she says, I want one. Everything I do, she says, I want one.
That's really
cool. Yeah, so I made her Princess Hothead.
So good.
Which Princess Hothead got lost or almost lost, and I was given parts to make a replacement one, and then Princess Hothead came back. So this is Rainbow Crash, made from a Rainbow Dash. I know way too much about My Little Ponies.
Friendship is magic.
Soldering is magic. Circuits are magic. That's what it is.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing you all next week.
Yep.
Yes.
We went over.
Please take this off the screen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
John Park, you're evil.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So people watching, if you make something, a remedy book, please do. You're
Yeah.
strongly encouraged to. If you do, send it to us so that we can see it too, and we can show it on the stream. And
Yeah, it could be anything. Like Carlin mentioned something about like GitHub gists. Because like a lot of GitHub gists are like little tiny remedies, and maybe there's a way to collect those up and stuff. And I think that's a really interesting thing too. I don't think it's something I'll do, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, should be cool.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, folks.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Oh, we're at post cheers. All right.
See you next week. I'm empty, but I will cheers you anyway.
I'm just almost. Cheers.
All right, cheers.